Today we're digging into the Umbral horror. I promise my summoning mechanics aren't off for these sleeves, but we're going to be looking at Umbral horror today. I thought that this was a pretty interesting concept when it actually showed up. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys want to see in this series. Today we have the power of fusion for you. So, we've been trying to do all of the elemental technique sleeves for this segment, even though it doesn't really line up with the segment of the day. I do think that'll be something that you guys want to walk away with. So the previous winner is down below in, in the comments. So do check that out. So welcome back to the unholy segment of I've been finding cool deck lists and actually just enjoying these rematches that players have been doing. This one's against an Umbral horror list. We'll talk about deck list here at the end and how you can modify this. But the Umbral horror special kind of relies on the 7th Baryons to be a control card, because this thing has a great ability on. It says each player can only special summon non-number monsters from the extra deck twice per turn while this is face up on the field, which is just a funny little concept. And we're against a pile across tables. You can see Mind Shuffle, some Art Mage good stuff. This will definitely end well for us. So we are going to go ahead and see the 7 Baryons come down. We're going to go ahead and get ashed on that, which is disappointing. We'll go ahead and we have a starter. We're good. We'll go ahead and extend down our Umbral horror here. Go ahead and get our search. Extend down. We're going to go ahead and see the Griffo pulling up the trap card, which is fine. And then we go ahead and we see the concession because they're not breaking this field. At this stage, you're just going to set up. Somebody's going to be like, well, Robbie, we're here to watch this deck work. Oh, trust me. You are here, but you're also going to see across the table here, there are some other plans in motion for these lists. This was an OCG-inspired concept today. So Perulia, we see the Griffo coming down here, which will get us some draw cards. So we're going to go ahead and Mind Shuffle, use the effect to rotate on up and send the Skull, which goes ahead and just does the dump-de-loop-de-loop. All right, we'll go ahead and see the add back. Go ahead and do the tribute. Hey, look, Perulia gets us a draw, which is fine. All right, we'll go ahead and see the Terminus Gate. Now, this is where I think decks that can manage to explore these particular lines are going to be a whole lot, better than you kind of expect. Because, now we have access to the Power Patron stuff, which gets us non-finito here, which also just keeps this Congo line going. And now out comes the Art Mage Power Patron. We get to go ahead and make the next piece here. Get another search. Here comes Field Spell. All right, we'll go ahead and get out Garflare. All right, here comes Garflare onto the field. Go ahead and get our spell card up. We're getting some more advantage. So we're going to try to inconvenience the opponent here by, getting the Umbral horror for the quick effect, send to place the field spell to try to control the opponent. But they're just going to go ahead and pop it anyway, which, may as well, right? So they are going to go ahead and see the continuation here. Then Mel's going to go ahead and extend on down. And then we're going to go ahead and see the pass. This is actually, pretty impressive. Having Field Spell up, having all of this, and then having the 2 trap cards, just as, this format is interesting. We do have this blowout card. So we are going to see the red reboot here. Go ahead and cut off the dimensional barrier. It'll go ahead and lock them out of the traps. They will go ahead and get to Mind Shuffle here, which is fine. We'll go ahead and Fua. They're going to go ahead and do the Mind Shuffle to set up the Spell Shattering. This gives us the ability to destroy all face-up spell cards the opponent controls, targeted monster the opponent controls, show a Ritual of Light and Darkness, and changes attack to 0 and negate its effects. We are going to go ahead. We are going to attack talents here to go ahead and get the draw. We see the Gamma Seal to cut them off. Now we can thrust into the pot here. So we get to draw pretty much our whole deck. I do see we find the Rizal package here, which might be a little bit of a help, but we still don't have anything to essentially kind of push through this field. Because this, we've locked, traps down at this stage, but at what stage is it going to be enough to really push through? So go ahead and get our Umbral horror here. We'll go ahead and summon the Garbage Golem, which we'll go ahead and see the chain up here to negate that. We'll go ahead and see the Umbral horror extend. Here comes Fin Mel to trigger, which will go ahead and negate that. We get to go ahead and make Duo Drive, but they're going to go ahead and change us to negate us, which is sad. But here comes the Mind Shuffle to bounce back. We're going to go ahead and see the Ogre. They're going to go ahead and do the chain here. All right, which we will go ahead and lose our sword. We do get an X, which does get a back row controlled out of the way. We can go ahead and drop node here, kick that off. We're going to go ahead and see the ogre on the node, which is disappointing. That's probably one of the worst things we could have seen. And then we get to see the actual fusion into the Shining Wingman. All right, we're still going here. We've got more access to more rank 4s here. But they do get to go ahead and shuffle back and draw 2, which is disgusting. We get to go ahead and make the Dead Namer here. Go ahead and suck up. Go ahead and rotate into the field spell here. So we've got control, but it's not a good control. And the problem is right now, this is 3,500 attack points, so they can actually attack over our detonator and eat up a piece. But we do have this. We're going to go ahead and pop that. We will go ahead and see the Banish 2 here, which was worst case. Yeah, they broke our whole field. Yikes. And then we see the concession. That's just very unfortunate. There's not really much that you could do about that. Hey, look, we opened up a Rizal hand this time. And we have some Solemns to kind of back it up. That Archmage pile across the table is very devastating. Like, actually, X-Rizal. We're going to see a multiplying Karibo come down here. That's interesting. We'll go ahead and sword, node, and then make Dead Namer, and set 3 and pass. Okay. Hey, look, Ragged Ritual Records. Go ahead and reveal, get our free search. Here comes the Griffin to get us the Mind Shuffle. All right, we'll go ahead and Mind Shuffle add. We're going to go ahead and Dead Namer pop. Then we're going to go ahead and multiplying Karibo. We're going to go ahead and Solemn Warning on that, because we do not want that guy doing anything. Here comes the Terminus Gate. Well, we have to punch that. We're going to see a multiplying Karibo come on back down here. Oh boy, here we go again. And then they do get a search off of that, which is fine. We'll go ahead and Judgment their normal here. Here comes the Black Chaos, and then we see the end phase. Okay. I mean, this is fine. Mind Shuffle to add. They're going to go ahead and pop. They're going to chain the multiplying Karibo. We're going to chain the Max C here, so we can at least get a draw off of that, but it's okay. They just get the add. So now our Karibo has negated our Detonator. Which is a problem, and they just got access into Non-Finito, and then another Karibo. All right, interesting little place to be here. Non-Finito fusion summons into the Recycle 5 Draw 2. That's so good. And now I think they're going to play the game here. Oh my god, they also got Black Chaos. Yeah, we see the concession. Yeah, the writing was on the wall for that one. That was a little bit rough, but let's pass on over so we can take a look at these 2 deck lists. Now, keep in mind these are OCG oriented, so I mean, you're be able to make some massive, easily changes to this. You convert a Maxi into a Fua. You know, you can get the extra Ash in based on other changes. You know, we can arrange the 7 Tachyon changes based on what we have versus what they have. But also, a lot of these decks have been playtesting a lot of the the small Rizal package, because you can actually slim down on this package now because Duo Drive does in fact exist. You know, being able to pivot one engine into another is very, very good. And I think the one thing that we like a lot about these decks is, you know, just the super easy pivot options. Obviously, you know, your whole deck's job is to rank 4 turbo. We didn't really get a good emphasis to see that, because it was more, you know, watch Rizal carry this deck on its back and actually try to get the most consistent numbers that it can. And obviously, you know, it looked like it was really trying. So some games are not going to be, you know, the best, but I do think that this showcases, you know, on a small rank 4 access, you can do things. Also, just be careful with the Rizal stuff, because, you know, when it comes to the big guy itself, you might have some slight conflictions. Now, I do want to talk about the other challenger that we had across the table. This 60-card Mind Shuffle Power Patron pile. I do not think that this is a bad idea whatsoever. If you are looking for just like massive combo lines, and also, you know, the Ritual of Light and Darkness stuff really just puts more of a pressure on the opponent. Obviously, you know, cutting a Maxi in this list is just changing it for an Ash Blossom, you know. Very, very, very easy change to adjust this. Also, still only playing one of each of them. I also noticed that this list is not emphasizing really any of the new Ars Magna stuff. There is, when we get down here into the extra deck, you do see we are playing Medi-Curious. I do think that this is still a good card. Having access to Medi-Curious is like an endboard piece is really good, but, you know, no Ars Magna BS to kind of push into this deck. I don't really think you need it. Also, the fact that, you know, we were able to very easily fuse into the favorite hero, net ourselves draw cards with this. The Shining Flare Wingman definitely was an MVP of this match, kind of putting more of an emphasis on the power that I feel like this card itself is kind of able to bring to the table, which is fantastic, honestly. I hadn't really thought about the concepts of what this can do, but okay, so what do you guys kind of think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.